carried him to the room that joined his own. Jen, as usual, taking the initiative, had already gotten a room put together for the little boy. It wasn't finished, but it already felt like a room meant for a little boy. No, it didn't feel like it was meant for any little boy. It felt like it was meant for Titus. It felt like it was meant for his son. He laid Titus in the bed and pulled the covers up just over his waist.
"Want the big light on or just the lamp?"
Costin asked him.
"Just the lamp. I'm getting braver."
Costin smiled.
"You are very brave."
"I have to be brave for Mommy."
Titus closed his eyes, and within a few minutes he was sound asleep. Costin felt as though the little boy was trying to catch up on all the sleep he'd probably lost while being imprisoned by the vampires. After all, who could sleep knowing that at any moment you might be dragged out of bed and snacked on like a box of crackers? He watched Titus for a few minutes longer before standing up and turning on the lamp that rested on the bedside table. Then he walked to the door, turned off the bedroom light, and glanced back one more time before stepping out and pulling the door partially closed. As he stepped back into the room that he usually shared with his mate, Costin glanced around, and the emptiness hit him like a punch to the gut. His wolf surged forward and fought for control. It was a battle that Costin had fought repeatedly over the last few days. He suspected that at some point it might be one that the man would no longer win. He needed her. Costin needed her light. He needed her soft-spoken nature, her wisdom, and her gentle heart. He needed her brown eyes staring back at him, shining with love for him and only him. Perhaps, most of all, he needed her with him to help raise Titus. Titus had endured tortures that Costin could only guess at. No one else but Sally had the kind of quiet, gentle, healing love that such a boy needed. It wasn't just that she was a healer, it was that she was his mother. Costin had known it the moment he saw Peri carrying the small form out from that underground hellhole and passing the child to Sally's loving arms. Despite the brave face Titus was putting on, the boy had no chance without Sally.
"I can't do this on my own, Sally mine,"
he whispered into the quiet room. He walked over to her side of the bed and, as he had done at least 100 times before, he picked up her pillow and held it to his face. He took in a deep breath, filling his lungs with her scent. Again he reached for her through the bond, and again he found nothing. It was like a life-preserver trailing behind a boat. One second it was there, floating along, offering him the hope and salvation he'd clung to since the moment she and her 2 best friends had walked into his bar almost 2 years ago. The next second, the rope connecting the preserver to the boat had been cut. How or why it had happened, he had no idea, but their bond was cut, and now he was lost, floating aimlessly in the open ocean. There was no help in sight, no land, no lifeboat, nothing but a vast emptiness as far as he could see. Costin reached out with his wolf hearing and listened for Titus. His breaths were slow and even. He was in a deep sleep. Costin shed his clothes and phased. He needed to run. His wolf needed to hunt, and if they couldn't hunt for their mate, then he'd hunt something else, something he could kill. As he headed for the back door of the mansion and toward the forest that beckoned to him, he let the wolf take over completely. Costin let go of all the human emotions and gave in to the wolf. He needed a break from the brokenness. He needed the confidence of the wolf.
"We will find her. We will protect our pup,"
his wolf growled. There was no doubt to be found anywhere in the beast. Those 2 things would happen, and the only thing that would prevent them from happening would be his death.
"It is not time for our death. It is time to hunt."
And with that thought, his wolf shot out into the woods. His shaggy brown fur was a blur, streaking through the trees. None could have matched his speed, not even the natural gray wolves that inhabited this region. For the moment, wolf and man would hunt together. They would stalk the prey that lived in the forest, and they would kill it, quickly and mercifully. But soon, very soon, they would stalk the ones that took their mate.